no Foden, no Palmer, no Alexander-Arnold, no Gibbs-White. If we need a Hail Mary, I don't know who it is.
I love this manager though. I love the fact that he's left all these players out because Southgate would have picked them all.
It's an atrocious decision. Why are you so defensive of Tuchel?
I just think he's a good coach. I haven't got a problem with Tuchel at all.
Hello and welcome to The 11 with SPORTbible. Today I'm joined by Mark Goldbridge and Rory Jennings. And today we're picking England's best 11 for the World Cup. If you can't decide, then I'll pick. Let's get into it. So we're going to start with the striker. Mark, who's it going to be?
Yeah, easiest one for me, it has to be Sir Harry Kane, as he will be after this World Cup win. Fantastic, one of the best strikers in the world, probably the best striker in the world, Ballon d'Or elect winner, I think later in the year. So many goals at the top of his game. I think England's whole World Cup stands and falls on Harry Kane.
And that's a worry. That is a worry because the drop-off from Kane is so significant. I think he scored 79 goals for England. The rest of the squad haven't scored anything like that combined. So any problems with Kane, I think that we're in trouble. Obviously he starts, but we could really do with the supporting cast, whoever we decide it's going to be, in various other positions, chipping in this tournament.
I think it's a bigger problem for England beyond the World Cup as well. I mean, kids today need to be out copying Harry Kane. There's just no strikers beyond Harry Kane. We've got nobody.
No, it's crazy. Like, I think Tony scored once for England. Once. Watkins 6.
And he only got
79.
In. He only got in because of a good last month.
Yeah.
We were going to take Solanke or Calvert-Lewin, which says everything.
I know. It's actually a real worry. When people talk about this squad and the first 11, they kind of focus on maybe the defence as being the Achilles heel. I think it's actually the forward line because it's so reliant on Harry Kane having a good tournament. If you're right, if it is ultimately Sir Harry Kane, and there is a world where you could be, I don't doubt the talent. If you're right and that happens, he's had the tournament of his life and we've got a chance of winning it. If he has the tournament of his life, we could win it. The problem is, if he doesn't, it kind of, like you say, it kind of falls in.
We need to wrap him up in cotton wool between games, although it's so hot, probably put him in a freezer with a little hole for his head. Keep him on ice, definitely.
Right, so Harry Kane's in. I'm going to give that one to you.
Thank you. Okay, swap you out. There you go, Harry.
And now we're going on to the left winger. Let's start with you.
Yeah, I think there's only really one option here. I know that Anthony Gordon deserves an honourable mention. I'm sure we'll discuss it. But Marcus Rashford is England's main man on this side. He's the only other player for England in this squad that scored double figures. So I think we need Marcus Rashford firing. It's weird, isn't it, that this conversation is going to revolve around a sort of Inter-Barcelona rivalry. Like, they're both going to be, at least at the moment, competing for a position in the Barcelona side. But I just think it has to be Marcus Rashford. Sometimes it can be a really simple game, football. It's like, who's a better player, Marcus Rashford or Anthony Gordon? And it's a tap-in. It's obviously Marcus Rashford.
Well, I don't think it's as big a tap-in with Rashford. I do like Gordon, and obviously Barcelona like him as well. But I think with Rashford, when you look at Harry Kane and at Spurs and at Bayern, it's that ability to have players running past him so he can drop in. And I think Rashford arguably is the quickest player in our team. He's also got the form, like Rory says. So I think Gordon can be useful from the bench, but Rashford starting off, he's been in the States for a couple of weeks acclimatising as well. So I think it's a no-brainer to go Marcus Rashford.
So then it's Marcus Rashford. I'm going to give that one to you to put over here.
Rashford's in.
And now on to the right winger.
Yeah, I think this one is open for debate. I mean, I'm a big fan of Saka. I think when you look back to the missed penalties in the Euros and you look at the careers of Sancho, Rashford and Saka, he stood out as the player that took that pressure and criticism and really defined himself as a leader, strong mentality player and a huge part of Arsenal. I do think, though, as a critic of him, because I do like him, his season at Arsenal has been pragmatic. It's been slow. There's been too many touches. I don't think he's been the Saka that he should be, but maybe that's, they've won the league.
Yeah, Saka has just made that place his own, really, hasn't he? And you're right, his form this season was probably the worst form that he's displayed for Arsenal. Obviously, there was injuries and whatever else. But on his day, he is one of the best players in this team. On his day, he is one of the best players at Arsenal. And I think that he will rediscover that form. And Noni Madueke just doesn't rival him at anything, in my opinion. So yeah, I agree with you, Mark. That's going to be Bukayo Saka's spot.
Cool, so I'm going to give that one to you.
Thank you very much.
Bukayo Saka in.
Saka's in there.
So then let's move on to the midfield three. Let's start with you, Mark.
Yeah, I really feel strongly about this, and I've been, saying it for a long time. We are England. I think we're one of the favourites to win the World Cup. We are playing there's 48 countries in this World Cup, and not a lot of them are very good. We do not need to have Anderson and Rice as a holding pivot. So for me, I want Rodgers running in behind. I want Bellingham supporting it, and I'm just going to put Declan Rice there. Elliot Anderson's a fantastic player, but we've not took people like Harry Maguire to the World Cup to play a high line. We're going to play a lot of poor countries, not financially, I mean in relation to football. And I want us to attack. And I think Bellingham will support the attack and will score a lot more goals. You mentioned about Harry Kane. I think Anderson and Rice can do it, but I want to put Bellingham in the team and I want to keep Rodgers in.
I like it. It's incredibly aggressive.
Won't work in the latter rounds, I completely agree.
Yeah, slightly cavalier, but I like the idea of going for the jugular. For my three, though, I would put Elliot Anderson in it. I think that he is so vital to the balance of the side. I think he's such a good player as well. Like, he's just so good. He's so good at basically everything. If you try and sort of work out what his floor is as a central midfielder, he's brilliant on the ball, he's brilliant in a tackle, he gets forward well, he defends incredibly vigilantly. I think that Elliot Anderson must start just because of the season he's had as well. So I would go Rice, Anderson, Bellingham. You know what, I can't really process. This sort of hostility that does exist in certain places towards Jude Bellingham. I don't get that at all. I don't dislike what Mark's done, by the way. It just feels incredibly adventurous, which I know Tuchel won't be.
So you've obviously both said Jude Bellingham, but then do you think he's actually going to start?
I think it's debatable. I mean, look, if we'd have been having this chat a year ago, no Cole Palmer, no Phil Foden, that shows you the mindset of Tuchel. And Bellingham, Tuchel's really loyal. Morgan Rodgers probably will start. Anderson and Rice probably will start. So the funny thing is, I'm putting Bellingham in to get him in. You're putting Bellingham in the number 10 to get him in. He probably will be the player that misses out.
I agree. I don't think he starts. I think he should. Apart from Harry Kane, Rice, Bellingham, these are just like the non-negotiables for me. Gahey, non-negotiables. They're just in the side regardless of who the manager is, regardless of what else is on offer. But I have a terrible feeling that Jude Bellingham won't start when we play Croatia in Texas. I don't think he'll be in the team. When we start, I think Tuchel's team, not the team that we're creating here, Tuchel's team will be Anderson, Rice, Rodgers, Bellingham on the bench, which is going to be a huge talking point.
So who's going to concede, either of you?
Not me.
No, I'm not conceding.
Absolutely not.
I want to attack. I want Rodgers running past Kane, but I'd put Bellingham in to accommodate him in the midfield.
Elliot Anderson has to start. Over to you. Do the right thing, Talia.
So it is down to me, and I have a decision. I'm going to start with Anderson. I think the team needs some more balance, so that's what I'm going to do. So we've got Bellingham, we've got Declan Rice, and we have Anderson going in. So we're on to the centre-backs now. Start with you.
Yeah, I would go with Gahey and Konza. I think they've been the most consistent centre-backs for England in the qualification. There is a case for more experience with people like Stones, certainly wouldn't play Dan Burn. So Gahey and Konza, I think they work well together. And I want England to be entertaining. I want us to be high up the pitch. And I think they're both quick centre-backs as well. We want to compress the opposition high up the pitch. It's hot out there. And I think Konza and Gahey are probably the two most consistent, reliable centre-backs we have.
Well, Mark's team is correct. Mark's team here chimes with what Tuchel would do, I'm sure of it. But it isn't my team. Yeah, I put John Stones.
I was waiting for the but.
Yeah, for me it'd be Gahey, Stones. I think if John Stones is even close to being fit, he has to play. I just think he's a brilliant player. The one thing this back line, with Nico O'Reilly, incredibly young, Mark Gahey, excellent, but there is a slight area where he's lacking experience. Jordan Pickford, phenomenal, but never won anything. I think you need a player, a winner like John Stones there. I would definitely pick Stones if he's fit. Stones alongside Gahey. Gahey's England's best centre-half, but I would marry it up with Stones.
He is not going to make that tournament. You may as well put Mason Mount in number 10. Like, he's not going to... Do you
not think Stones?
No, I don't even remember the last time he played for City. I don't think he even got used in his last game for City, did he? Did he come on for like 5 minutes or something? I can't remember the last time he played 3 games in a row.
He has taken him though. No,
yeah, and you could have took Harry Maguire for the same reason. And I agree with you. John Stones is a better option in them centre-back positions than Harry, who's going to play a little bit deeper.
For the record, I would have taken Maguire.
Yeah, I would have took Stones as a United fan. I still would have took Stones, but because he's a little bit more dynamic and get in the lineup. But I just think for tournament football, he won't last the tournament.
So then if Harry Maguire was in the squad, would he be starting in either of your teams?
Yes. He'd be starting for me over Konza and Stones.
See, I think that's just sentimentality. Because you're going to play a low line and rely on corners.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, that's what we did with Southgate. I want to see something new with Tuchel, and I think we will do. And Harry Maguire, as much as he's had a good season for United, I just think he's
both
only
boxes,
good in a certain way.
Both boxes as well.
Sub. It'd be a sub.
I think the threat of Maguire, bearing in mind, you know, people keep talking about the heat. This could be a tournament decided on set pieces, in the way that the Premier League on some level was decided by set pieces. Having Harry Maguire, like, you cross a fridge freezer in your head out. You either box, he's phenomenal. Like, I would have taken Maguire. I think it's atrocious that he hasn't gone.
I would have took him over Dan Burn, but I wouldn't start him for England.
Kwanzaa?
You'd start him for England.
I'd start him. I would. I like the experience.
He's struggling that heat, Harry. You know.
Factor 50. In fact, serious amounts of factor 50.
Yeah.
But with what's available, I pick Stones. But I'm also ready. Before, I wasn't going to concede any ground. This one, Mark's right. It will be Konza.
So it sounds like you conceded there, which actually left me without having to make a decision because I was going to pick John Stones.
Oh,
anyway,
no, I should have forced
I
it.
know.
That's a
Anyway,
shame. Scored no goal.
There we go.
Pressure.
They're giving into pressure.
There we go.
So we're going to move on to the right back now. We'll start with you, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, again, we spoke about John Stones there and fitness. I do worry about Reece James in a tournament environment. Livramento, I think, would be the backup, or maybe Jed Spence. That's a very big drop-off, with all due respect. Obviously, no Trent there, which is maybe something we'll talk about. But for me, Reece James is, with Timber, the best two right-backs in the Premier League. He also has the ability to step into the midfield, which is exactly what I want this right-back to do, push forward. So Reece James, for me, I've said it for years, when he's fit, I think he is the most balanced English right-back, so easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd go one step further. I'd say fit, he's the best right-back in the world. Best right-back in this tournament is Reece James. The question mark is fitness. But I think it's probably now the time. How is Trent Alexander-Arnold not at least an option? Like, just in terms of his creative spark. No Foden, no Palmer, no Alexander-Arnold, no Gibbs-White. If things go well, this is great. If we need a Hail Mary, I don't know who it is. I really don't. But obviously, Reece James starts for England.
I love this manager, though. I love the fact that he's left all these players out, because Southgate would have picked them all. And they'd all be in the pool with the inflatables.
Yeah, I mean,
They already are in the pool with the inflatables.
Well, they need to be. It's cold.
yeah.
It's cold. It's hot. Sorry, but no. I think Tuchel has really gone very different, and this is about being different because we're the nearly men. And I think that Reece James, obviously, Trent, it's a risk.
I'm going to give that one to you to move over. And then let's move on to the left back.
It's another tap-in, isn't it? It's Nico O'Reilly.
Well, it is based on who he's picked.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do like Lewis Hall. I'm very defensive of Tuchel. I can understand what he's done. You've got Jed Spence can play both. Livramento can play both. Dan Burn can play centre-back and left-back. So when we talk about the starting 11 for England, there's not a lot of contentious issues. Everyone was arguing about squad players, but squad players are players that come in when things go wrong. So having players that can play multiple positions, I understand why he hasn't took Lewis Hall, but I might have gone Lewis Hall over O'Reilly.
It's also, being versatile is great. And being a sort of Swiss Army knife of a player at a tournament is very valuable. But also, we have to discuss how good are you in various positions. Like Dan Burn being able to play left back.
I can do it at five-a-side on a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So what? Yeah. So no, I think that it's. I think this is obviously Nico O'Reilly, but again, we need to be very hopeful that he keeps full fitness because he is leagues above whoever comes in to replace him.
And also, what you've got to remember is that this level, whether it's right back or left back, you are playing against the Yamals of this world. You are playing against the Vinicius Juniors. It's not like certain other positions, midfield, whatever. I mean, we've took Jordan Henderson, haven't we? But at left back, if Nico Riley's out, you're putting Dan Burn or Jed Spence up against, some of the best right wingers in the world.
Mate, the fact that you said Yamal, I just suddenly thought, because you brought up Lewis Hall. Do you remember how well Lewis Hall did against Yamal in that game?
Yeah.
It's an atrocious decision. Why are you so defensive of Tuchel?
I just think he's a good coach. I haven't got a problem with Tuchel at all. I think he's a good coach. I think England need a winner. Southgate wasn't a winner. But I agree with you on Nico O'Reilly. I think he's deserving. He probably will have won Young Player of the Year if he hasn't won it already. Scores lots of goals, can play, very, very high up the pitch, very tall for a left back. Easy.
Nico O'Reilly.
You guys are so agreeable with each other. So
yeah, well, I mean, it kind of picks it. So a lot of this side, probably due to the architecture of it, it does pick itself.
Well, then finally, let's move on to the goalkeeper.
I'd love to be saying somebody else. I've never been Jordan Pickford's biggest fan, but I would agree he is England's best goalkeeper. That says a lot about England's goalkeeping roster. I don't think anybody can get close to him, and ultimately, as good as he is, I wouldn't say he's one of the world's best goalkeepers, but it has to be Jordan Pickford. There's no one anywhere near.
Completely agree. Completely agree. It just is Pickford, isn't it? There is very little to say. The drop-off from him to whoever would replace him, whoever you believe is the second best keeper, it's huge. Pickford is England's goalie. Pickford is England's number one.
So then I will move this in and put Jordan Pickford in goal.
That's it. It's coming home. There it is. There it is. I don't see the problem.
Do you think it's coming home?
No.
I do. I've been saying it for a long time. I do. I know it's said by many every tournament, but I just have this feeling England will bring it home this time.
I mean, I'd never be happier to be wrong.
So the pizza is here. I have one question. Do England have a chance of winning the tournament?
I mean, Mark's confidence has sort of infected me. I'm beginning to start believing. You see a world
where
it could
do you
happen.
see England going?
If it all goes the way I've planned it, according to my wall planner. Look, according to my wall planner, we're going to play Brazil in Miami.
Yeah.
Feels like. Look,
like
if
a
we
great
beat Brazil
game.
in Miami, then fair play. But I feel like that could be the moment it goes a bit wrong.